Welcome to Silver Heist. Thank you to our returning subscribers and guests. So I have an unboxing to do. With silver prices so low, I made a purchase. It's about $100, and the question I have to ask myself is, am I loony? So I've got 5 reasons that I might be loony based on what I just bought. So let me show you what I bought, and I'll tell you if I'm loony. We got 10 coins. And this is what we bought. Canadian silver dollar. Okay, so we didn't get these at Timmy's. We got these at Provident Metals. And these are not loony. A loony is waterfowl. It is a loon. So the modern non-silver Canadian dollar is a loon or a loony. And it became so much of their common phrasing. We don't have a loony, but we have a toonie. So a $2 Canadian coin is a toonie. So these coins are not loony, but I might be loony. So let's find out why. So 1959. So my first question is, am I loony that in some ways I would prefer having circulated silver over bullion? So I just like, these are really nice shape. So this is 1959. So I just really like the history of circulated coins. It's issued by a government, has something about their history, something about how they want to be perceived in the world, which is also the case now as you're producing government issued bullion. It's like, what is that society trying to say about themselves? So this is a great looking coin. So I think given the choice, I might lean towards circulated coins more so than bullion. So am I loony to think that? This one's 1962. So the other thing is, so number 2, am I loony for opting for something that is 80% silver instead of 90% silver? I think not. So here's the 2 differences between the younger Queen Elizabeth and the older Queen Elizabeth. 1962, 1966. So I don't know when the transition year was. So am I loony for opting for 80% silver? I think people know in North America this is 80% silver, and US coinage is 90% silver in terms of the dominant silver coin people look at. So I think it's a known quantity, and a rising tide is going to lift all boats, whether it's 80% or 90%. So it's a simple multiplication. It's a known amount of silver content in this as much as a 90% coin. So you may call me loony, but I think it's okay to pick up 80% silver. So this one's a 1957. Also a young Queen Elizabeth. So the third reason that I might be loony is that here I am, an American, buying Canadian circulated coins. So am I loony for going outside of my own country's heritage or known coins that people are more familiar with, Mercury dimes and silver Washington quarters? Am I loony for buying Canadian dollars when most Americans would collect coins from their own country? So it's not like I went and bought something confusing like the United Kingdom, where you've got florins and pences and shillings and crowns. You know, these are dollars, half dollars, quarters. I'm kind of just going with the Canadian dollar. I think it's kind of a nice size, nice format. So am I loony for getting Canadian coins instead of my own native coins? So here's the 1965. So I'm getting a good variety of coins. Okay, this is cool. This is 1964. This is some kind of special commemorative coin for Charlottetown, Quebec, 1864 to 1964. So this is some kind of celebration. It almost looks like a proof-like finish. This is some kind of celebration of maybe Canada gaining a little bit more independence from the crown. They didn't get too much independence because look who's still on the obverse, but I think this is, maybe our Canadian friends can tell us what the significance of 1964 is. So that's cool. And here's another Quebec coin, 1964. So we got a couple of those. Let's see what we got. So 1965 and another 1963. So a good variety of coins, great shape. I was actually hoping for 1967 because instead of the canoe design, I think it's a goose. It's potentially a Canadian goose in 1967. So I got 10. There's about 0.6 ounces of silver in a Canadian coin. So I've got about 6 ounces of silver. I got to check my invoice, but I think it was $100-something. So I think it's still a little lower than buying bullion coins. Just a little bit. Finally, am I loony for going for Canadian dollars instead of US dollars? And I would say this. So where peace dollars ended in 1935 and Morgan dollars go back even further, Canada was making dollar-sized silver up until 1967. So I'm getting great condition silver that's old but not antique. And so I think the premium on this puts it a little bit below bullion, where this carries a more numismatic premium, and so you're just competing with collectors and not just stackers if you want a bunch of these. But if you want these, you're not competing with collectors as much as just strictly stackers. So am I loony choosing Canadian dollars over American silver dollars? I think not, but let me know if you think I'm loony. Let me know if you think you're loony and why. And everyone needs money. That's why they call it money.